What if I told you the most powerful self-care plan isn't about finding more time? It's about redesigning the time you already have. Today, I'll be sharing with you a system that helped me go from burnt out to balance, even while juggling my 9 to 5, managing 2 businesses, and never missing a single school activities for my 2 children. And trust me, if it could work for someone who couldn't even find the time to breathe, I promise it will work for you. You need only 2 things, which is a pen and a paper, and you really need to be honest. I'm Thelma, and this is the Mindful Moms. So we're diving into something that is very crucial for our well-being, yet we often neglect it, which is creating a personalized self-care plan. I know how difficult it is as moms to juggle work, your husband, your children, managing a home, managing businesses, the endless to-do list, the guilt that creeps in when you decide to take time for yourself. I'm here to tell you today that putting yourself first is not selfish. It is the best thing you can do for yourself so that you can show up better for the ones that you love. When we neglect our own needs, we end up irritable, depleted, and less present. And trust me, that is not good for anybody. I'll share with you a step-by-step guide on how to create a personalized self-care plan that works for you and your unique needs. And because self-care is not a one-size-fits-all, it's about finding things or activities that nourish you, body and soul. So let's dive straight into it. So step 1 would be to reflect. Take some time out and reflect on your current self-care habits, or maybe you don't even have any current self-care habits. I need you to grab a pen and a paper for this entire exercise, and you need to promise yourself that you need to be honest, because it is your honesty that will help you build a personalized self-care plan that would work for you and that will be sustainable. So ask yourself the following questions. When was the last time I took out time for myself to indulge in an activity that made me feel good? Question 2. What areas of my life make me feel depleted, drained, or overwhelmed? Question 3. What activities do I like that I can participate in that make me feel recharged or rejuvenated? Providing answers to this question will help us build the foundation for a sustainable self-care plan. So step 2 would be to identify areas of your life where you feel the most depleted. So for example, let's look at different areas, right? Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, intellectual, right? Look at those areas and identify which areas you feel the most depleted. For example, 6 months ago or 3 months ago, you had a physical assessment, like a comprehensive test, and they told you that, oh, you're obese. That is a physical area that you know you clearly need to work on. You discover that, oh, my spiritual life hasn't been very good. That's another area. So have the areas that you want to work on itemized. The more tailored your self-care plan is to your unique needs, the more effective it will be for you. Step 3 would be to brainstorm options. Now that you've identified areas where you feel depleted, it's time for you to think of options that could meet those self-care needs. Think of things like daily routines, for instance, having a morning routine and then a routine for your evening wind down. You could also think of hobbies and leisure activities. Hobbies like maybe arts and craft, or you've decided you want to be a bit more active in terms of movement. So maybe like playing tennis or playing badminton. Also relaxation techniques, like maybe you want to get into yoga or Pilates or start to do deep breathing consciously. You could also think of social connections, like being intentional by going on coffee dates with your friends or even planning game nights with your family members. It could also be in the area of pampering yourself, like having a spa date or getting a massage from your husband, if you know what I mean. So the key is to find a good mix of quick and accessible self-care habits that cater to the areas of depletion. Okay, so let's get into a few examples. So for example, say you discover that you need more rest. I would say commit to going to bed 15 minutes earlier, or try taking 30-minute nap during the day. If you feel like you need to relax, you're constantly feeling overwhelmed, I would say take 5 minutes break every day. Just find a corner you can be by yourself and just do your deep breathing and relax and get back to the rest of your day. The key is to find simple and achievable self-care activities that will not completely derail your day. Step 4 would be to either schedule it or work in time blocks. Okay, so now that we have identified areas where we feel depleted, We've also identified simple and quick self-care actions that could feed those areas of depletion. It's time for you to schedule it or create time blocks. And remember, if you do all this work and you don't schedule it and actually take the intentional step of going through with these activities, you are going to be back at square one, where you are running around and you are stressed and you're complaining to God knows who, not me, about how you don't have time to take care of yourself. So block off that time on your calendar, set reminder, set alarm, put it on your calendar as a non-negotiable activity, and make sure that you follow through with it. And I'll just give you a little bit about time block. If you say, okay, every 30 minutes I want to be doing something different, so whether or not you are done with what you're doing within that 30 minutes, you are required to drop it and then move on to the next thing. So if that is what works for you, fine. But what works for me is I put my self-care appointment in my calendar, because every single day when I wake up, the first thing I do is to check my calendar so I know the activities that I need to do for the day. And that way I'm able to work in a way that I don't neglect that self-care activity, except of course it's an emergency and it's something I really need to attend to. Remember that self-care does not have to be an hour-long ritual. Even 5 to 10 minutes of intentional nurturing activities every day can make a big difference in your entire day. You know, when they say it takes a village to raise children, it really does take a village. And that brings me to step 5. You need to build support systems. It is absolutely essential to have support systems that help you, so that each time you have a self-care activity, you are able to still prioritize yourself without guilt, and you have people around you that encourage you to prioritize yourself, because you don't want to schedule a self-care activity and be participating in that activity only to find out that, oh, my children haven't eaten. So build a support system that you know would be there to hold your children and care for your children and take care of your children as you would while you're away doing your self-care thing. So here's how to build and leverage on one. The first one will be to communicate your needs. So speak to your partner, speak to your sisters, your brothers, your aunties, their grandparents, and tell them or explain to them about how self-care is important to you and how you want them to be a bit more involved when it comes to taking care of your children, especially your partner, because you didn't make that baby by yourself, did you? So explain to them how taking out time for yourself positively impacts your mood and your ability to take care of your family. I think a lot of us women make the mistake of just putting 100% of the responsibility of training our children on our heads. Involve your partner. You could once in a while ask your partner, oh, can you please bath the children? Could you read them bedtime stories? Involve them in the process of actually raising your child. It's not just even for you alone, it's also to help your child build those memories of having dad present in his or her life. So try and involve your partner in things, and don't just assume that, oh, because your partner is bringing money, that automatically exempts him from being intentionally involved with the children. So don't be shy to communicate that. He might not listen to you at first, but occasionally bring it up. Just involve him. You'll be surprised how happy he will be to do these things, and especially when you guys do it together as a family. Number 2, learn to delegate certain responsibilities. This was one of my biggest problems when I first started having children. I believe that nobody could do it as good as I would do it. I was wandering around Lagos trying to do everything by myself, and then I'll sit down and wonder, oh, why am I always burnt out? Why am I always tired? Why am I always sick? That was the reason, because I failed to delegate responsibilities that could easily be done by somebody else. So please learn from my mistake and delegate responsibilities. Like we said in the previous point, ask your partner to do stuff. I can't cook today. Can we please go out for dinner? Even with your friends or colleague or close family friends, organize child swaps. So maybe when your partner is not around, or occasions where you don't have any help, you can easily do a child swap where you watch their child today and then they watch your child tomorrow. However, if you do not trust the person, please don't drop your children. Hold your children. Engage your children in the living room. Let them be watching TV or reading a book or do something while you take 5-10 minutes to yourself, doing your skincare, reading a book, or doing whatever self-care activity you know you can do while the kids are home, as long as they don't bother you. Because I'm very big on protecting our children, especially in this day and age where a lot of things happen that I'm not going to say much, or I'm not going to go into much of that now, but I know you know what I mean. So as much as we need this self-care for ourselves, we also need to ensure that our children are protected. Another tip would be to seek professional help, like get a nanny, get a babysitter. Whatever kind of help works for you, you need to get it, because let me tell you, like we said before, raising a child, it does take a village. And I know a lot of us are not really fans of getting help, especially if you are in Nigeria or in Africa. You know what I'm talking about in terms of like maybe energies, or you don't trust this person. But there are a lot of agencies that have come up, they're able to vet these people properly and give you people that they trust. Another tip would be to join a community. Look for local or online mom communities where they share tips, share their stories, and you can literally learn from other moms' experiences. For example, join the Mindful Moms community where you connect with other mothers and you learn from a lot of other moms' experiences. And trust me, a few connections on our platforms have blossomed into beautiful friendships. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description bar to join our community. And finally, embrace help when it is offered. Some of you have this habit of, oh, do you need help? No, I'm okay. Oh, can I do? No. See, when people offer help, learn to accept it. Oh, is it fine if I babysit for you? Absolutely. And take that time to do something for yourself. And don't forget what I said. If you don't trust the person, please don't leave your child for the person. And accepting or embracing help is not a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign of strength. So now that we have identified the areas where we feel depleted, we have also identified self-care activities that can fill those cups that have been emptied. We have also decided, okay, let us schedule it or create a time block for it. You also need to continuously review and adjust your self-care plan. Our needs and our schedules are constantly evolving. Things are constantly changing. And guess what? So will your self-care plan. So this is the reason why you continuously need to review and adjust until you find that perfect balance. What works today may not work tomorrow. Today you may be in a different season of your life where you are a 9-to-5 mama. Tomorrow you might find yourself being a full-time entrepreneur and you've resigned from your 9-to-5. Those are two different seasons and you need to treat them accordingly. So continue to look for self-care activities that nourish your body and soul, and continue to adjust until you find the perfect balance of what works for you. I can give you an example of myself. I had a season where I needed to take care of my intellectual self-care, and what I did during that season was continue to take courses that will nurture that side of me. I did project management, I did Prince 2 practitioner, I did the foundation, I did agile, I did product management, I did a lot of things, even though I'm not using them now. The point is that was my season of wanting to do that, and I did that. There was also a season where I constantly went for like spa dates and stuff just for me to feel relaxed. Now I'm in a season where I'm so into art and craft. I may not like the outcome, but I'm constantly searching for other forms of art that I would like. And when I look at it, it's pretty to look at. I'm only going to keep looking for more artistic stuff that I can participate in. And finally, be kind to yourself. Self-care is a journey, not a rigid self-care list. So life with children is highly unpredictable, and it is very important that you approach your self-care plan with flexibility and compassion. And here is how you're going to embody this mindset. 1, embrace imperfection. It's okay if you don't check off every single self-care activity on your list. Missing 1 or 2 days of your self-care activity does not make you a failure. The important thing is you pick up from where you left off. Secondly, stop comparing yourself to others. Your journey is different, so is mine. Focus on doing what works for you rather than comparing what Mom A is doing to what you're doing. Focus on you. Celebrate small wins. Every 5 minutes or 10 minutes of you enjoying your coffee or of you taking deep breath also counts as self-care. Celebrate these small wins and it can only go up from there. Like we said in step 7, adjust as needed. What works today will not work tomorrow. What was attainable while you were a new mom is not the same thing that will be attainable while your child is in the toddler phase. So be prepared to always review and adjust as needed. Also, be your own advocate. You need to learn to stand strong in you prioritizing yourself, even if it means that everybody around you, they do not understand. This does not mean fighting. It just means finding ways to communicate to your partner or your family that, listen, this self-care is important to me and I'm going to indulge in this activity because this is what will make me come back stronger and give me the strength required to take care of my family. And finally, practice positive talk. Like, talk to yourself, give yourself reminders. I deserve time to relax and recharge. Taking time for myself makes me a better mom. I deserve rest and rejuvenation. Those are all the steps that you need to create a personalized self-care plan for you. I hope they were helpful, and I would love to see more in the comments about how your self-care plan is coming along. Don't forget to create a good mix of quick, simple, and actionable self-care plans that fit into your family schedule. I would love to hear from you. What's one self-care practice that you're excited to add to your routine? If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, and if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Tap that subscribe button and the notification bell so that every single time you upload, you are notified. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!